In a galaxy bound together by complex treaties and a council of alien civilizations, humanity is one of the few species that has managed to remain neutral, respected as diplomats and scholars rather than warriors. Earth has always prized its role as a mediator, believing that its peace-oriented approach offers stability in an otherwise volatile galaxy. Humanity's reputation for curiosity, adaptability, and cultural wisdom earns them a seat at the Intergalactic Council, though they are seldom asked to weigh in on military matters. Known for shrewd intelligence rather than force, humans serve as quiet problem solvers amid the galaxy's power struggles. Yet, a new storm brews between two dominant factions, the Dominion of Zareth and the Coalition of Zalkai. The two factions, previously at peace, have begun a series of border disputes that threaten to spiral into an all-out war. The Dominion of Zareth, brutal and driven by conquest, is gaining ground, while the Coalition of Zalkai is stretched thin, struggling to defend its territories. Skirmishes break out more frequently, and the galaxy is on edge as each faction tries to draw in allies to bolster their ranks. The Coalition of Zalkai, cornered and desperate, reaches out to Earth with a high-stakes appeal. They plead for humanity to join their cause, promising an alliance that could benefit Earth politically and economically. They speak of the Dominion's ruthless expansion and insist that Zareth's victory would mean chaos and suffering across all worlds. Humanity, they argue, has a chance to make a real difference by choosing a side. Yet Earth's leaders hesitate. War is everything humans have always worked to avoid. The weight of staying neutral, of focusing on peace above all, has shaped human diplomacy for decades. To side with the coalition would risk shattering this identity, plunging Earth into a brutal conflict that could devastate it. Earth declines, maintaining its commitment to neutrality. Leaders reassure themselves with old principles, citing humanity's dedication to peace. But the refusal sends ripples through the galaxy. The coalition feels abandoned, their last hope for a game-changing ally slipping away. Meanwhile, the Dominion is emboldened, viewing humanity's neutrality as a sign of weakness, something to exploit. The galaxy watches, wondering if humanity's resolve will hold. The Zareth Dominion begins to view Earth as an obstacle that can be swept aside if needed, a planet filled with diplomats who lack the courage to act. And then, in a single night, everything changes. Without warning, a Dominion fleet attacks a neutral space station where humans and several alien species live in harmony, a beacon of interspecies cooperation. The attack is swift and merciless. Hundreds of lives are lost, including high-ranking diplomats, civilians, and even families. The assault is brutal, and the aftermath horrifying, a deliberate act of aggression meant to send a message to Earth. The Dominion wants humanity to see that neutrality means nothing in the face of power. To the Dominion, humans are naive to think peace could protect them. For the first time, humanity witnesses the brutal reality of galactic war, the raw force that the Dominion wields with impunity. Scenes of the destroyed station flood Earth's media. Families mourn, leaders argue, and the public's outcry for justice is overwhelming. Earth is shaken to its core. Neutrality has always felt noble, a steady stance that kept humanity safe. But now, they see it for what it is, a fragile shield that cannot stop determined aggression. A debate erupts among human leaders. Some believe that to join the war would mean abandoning everything humanity stands for. They argue for continued diplomacy, trying to reason that the attack was a tragic exception. But others, scarred by the loss and angered by the Dominion's brazen act, argue that Earth must act. It is not just about justice, it's about survival. To stand idly by, they argue, is to invite the Dominion's wrath upon Earth itself. They push for intervention, for retribution, for action that will show the galaxy humanity's strength. As Earth grapples with this decision, the galaxy holds its breath. The brutal attack on the neutral space station sends shockwaves through Earth. The footage of destroyed chambers, the empty silence where voices once spoke of peace, fills screens across the planet. The devastation strikes deep, turning grief into rage and disbelief into determination. Families mourn, but they are not alone. All of Earth feels the loss, and the calls for justice grow louder, demanding that their leaders take a stand. Inside Earth's central governing body, the debate is tense. Earth's leaders, divided on how to respond, face the overwhelming pressure of a public that has been pushed to the edge. Generals, diplomats, and heads of state convene to make a decision that could shape humanity's future. Some still argue that humanity's best weapon is diplomacy. They warn that to abandon neutrality is to walk a path that cannot be reversed. To join a war is to become part of a system humanity once vowed to transcend. Earth has stood as a beacon of peace and cooperation, and to abandon that principle, they argue, would be to lose the very essence of what makes humanity unique. But this time, the voices calling for action are stronger. For every call to peace, there is a counterargument, a challenge, a reminder of what was lost. One after another, military officials, diplomats, and grieving family members take the podium, each one more impassioned than the last. Some recount the lives of those who perished in the attack, friends and colleagues who believed that humanity's neutrality could offer a new way forward. They argue that the Dominion's brutality has stripped away any illusions. Peace, they say, is not possible when one side chooses not to respect it. The Dominion's message was clear: neutrality will not protect Earth. And if humanity does not act, they risk even greater losses. After hours of debate, it becomes clear that diplomacy has reached its limit. Earth's leaders are forced to consider options they once dismissed. They know that a decision to enter the war could bring immense consequences. The cost of joining this conflict would be high, but the cost of doing nothing, they realize, may be even higher. To give peace one last chance, Earth's leaders turn to a single figure, a man whose voice has brought resolution to countless crises, Ambassador Julian Carter. Known across the galaxy for his charisma, his calm in moments of tension, and his ability to see beyond divisions, Carter is entrusted with humanity's final attempt to negotiate peace. This mission is unlike any he has undertaken before, and he knows it. The stakes are higher, the risk greater, and the outcome uncertain. But, if there is a chance to avoid the horrors of war, he must seize it. Carter's journey to the Dominion's central planet is heavy with anticipation. In the Grand Council Hall, he stands before the Dominion's Supreme Commander and his imposing generals. They listen, not out of respect, but out of thinly veiled amusement, looking at him with disdain as if they cannot comprehend why he is even here. Carter speaks of peace, of coexistence, of the values humanity cherishes. He explains that Earth wants no part in the conflict, and that they seek only mutual understanding. But his words are met with cold indifference. The Dominion's Supreme Commander rises, his gaze hard and unyielding. He scoffs at Carter's ideals, dismissing them as weakness, as the fantasies of a naive species that doesn't understand the reality of power. With a voice laced with contempt, he tells Carter that Earth's neutrality is a sign of cowardice, a lack of commitment to the galaxy's harsh truths. And then, he delivers an ultimatum. Earth, he says, has two choices: either submit to the Dominion's will or suffer the same fate as the neutral station they destroyed. Carter stands silent, absorbing the weight of the commander's words. His hope for a peaceful resolution fades, replaced by a steely resolve. The Supreme Commander's gaze holds no compassion, no respect, only the certainty of conquest. It is clear that peace is not an option. The Dominion is not interested in diplomacy. They only understand power and submission, and in their eyes, humanity's hesitation has already marked them as weak. With his final hope extinguished, Carter returns to Earth, his expression shadowed with the burden of what he now knows must be done. The council hall falls silent as he reports his findings, the reality sinking in for every member of Earth's leadership. Peace is no longer possible, and neutrality, they realize, is no longer a shield but a liability. They have no choice but to fight or face certain domination. The decision to join the war begins to form, not out of a desire for conquest but as a necessity for survival, as a response to the Dominion's merciless aggression. For Earth, this is no longer just a matter of philosophy or principle. It has become a fight for their right to exist, a fight for justice, a fight to honor the lives that were lost. And as they prepare to stand alongside the coalition, humanity steels itself for a war unlike anything they have ever faced. For the first time in galactic history, Earth will not stand as a mediator, a negotiator, or a silent observer? Ambassador Julian Carter returns to Earth a changed man. The weight of the Dominion's ultimatum sits heavily on his shoulders, but the resolve in his eyes is unbreakable. The Council waits in silence, sensing the gravity of what he is about to say. Carter recounts his mission, describing the Dominion's unyielding arrogance, their scorn for Earth's values, and the cold threat that left no room for peace. The room listens in stunned silence as he delivers the final words of the Supreme Commander's ultimatum: submit to the Dominion's rule or face annihilation. There is no middle ground, no path to neutrality left. The reality of their situation settles over the Council like a shadow. For a moment, there is silence. And then, one by one, Council members and military officials voice their agreement. They know that the time for debate has passed. Humanity has tried every diplomatic avenue, exhausted every argument for peace, and still, the Dominion offers nothing but conquest. This ultimatum is a challenge to everything humanity has built, to the ideals they hold dear. The Council knows they are faced with an impossible choice. They can either submit to tyranny or stand and fight. Earth's leaders look to Carter, knowing that this decision will define humanity's future. They see his resolve, and in it, they find their own. As Carter rises, he prepares to deliver a declaration that will ripple across the galaxy. He stands before the Council, his voice unwavering, his words carrying the weight of a decision made not in haste but in solemnity. With quiet, unbreakable conviction, he says the words that will forever change humanity's place in the galaxy. We are joining the war. In that moment, the room shifts. It's as though the walls themselves hold their breath, recognizing the magnitude of this decision. Carter's words are more than a declaration, they are a promise. A promise to the fallen, to the future, and to the galaxy itself that humanity will not bow to oppression. The news spreads faster than light, igniting a shockwave that ripples across every inhabited system. The galaxy is stunned. To the coalition of Zalkai, the declaration is nothing short of a miracle, a beacon of hope that humanity's strength might tip the scales. To the Dominion, it is an insult, a challenge from a species they once dismissed as diplomats and scholars. For the first time, the Dominion must confront the reality that humanity is not the passive observer they once assumed. Earth has chosen a side, and they have chosen it with conviction. Back on Earth, the transformation is immediate. Once a center of diplomacy and culture, Earth now mobilizes for war. Factories shift production to military technology, scientists turn their efforts to defense, and alliances with the coalition deepen with each passing hour. Humanity's military and strategic minds rise to the occasion, collaborating with Zalkai commanders to develop strategies that are as innovative as they are effective. Earth's leaders quickly realize that they must adapt and innovate to survive, and they do so with an intensity that surprises even their new allies. Earth's contributions to the coalition are not in raw numbers or advanced weaponry, but in a form of warfare the Dominion has never encountered. Humanity's adaptability becomes their greatest strength. They bring with them strategies and tactics foreign to the rigid Dominion forces, approaches that are as unexpected as they are effective. From guerrilla tactics to psychological warfare, humanity's ingenuity becomes a vital asset in the coalition's resistance. Dominion forces, accustomed to traditional warfare, are thrown off balance as Earth's forces outmaneuver them at every turn, challenging their control with a tenacity the galaxy has never seen. And within this shift, humanity begins to earn a reputation as a formidable ally. Coalition leaders, who once viewed humanity as mere diplomats, find themselves respecting Earth's resourcefulness and resilience. Humanity has transformed from a neutral observer to a powerful ally, a species that brings not just strength, but creativity and tenacity to the battlefield. Zalkai commanders are astonished at humanity's approach, their willingness to adapt, their drive to protect each other and their allies. Humanity, they realize, has brought more than just manpower, they have brought hope. The Dominion, in contrast, finds itself facing an enemy they cannot understand. They struggle to counter the human-led operations that disrupt their supply lines, weaken their forces, and drain their morale. Dominion commanders are unaccustomed to humanity's unpredictable tactics, their ability to see weaknesses and exploit them with precision. What the Dominion once dismissed as humanity's weakness, curiosity, innovation, and resilience, becomes the very force that turns their plans to chaos. Each human victory chips away at their confidence, and whispers of fear spread through their ranks as they confront the unexpected strength of a species they underestimated. Ambassador Carter, once Earth's face of peace, becomes its symbol of defiance. He returns to the front lines not as a diplomat but as a leader, uniting humans and Zalkai in their shared fight for freedom. His determination, his courage, and his unwavering resolve inspire those around him. To his allies, he becomes a symbol of what humanity stands for, a reminder that peace is worth fighting for, that the values they hold are worth defending. Humanity's involvement is more than just a military alliance, it is a statement to the galaxy. Earth has taken a stand, and they have shown that they will fight, not just for themselves, but for the principles that unite them. And as the Coalition's morale strengthens, as the Dominion falters under the weight of humanity's relentless resistance, it becomes clear that the galaxy will never be the same. In the midst of war, humanity has proven that their strength lies not just in their weapons, but in their unwavering resolve. Their decision to join the fight has shifted the balance of power, turning the tide of a war that once seemed hopeless. And though the road ahead is filled with challenges, the galaxy now knows that Earth is more than a neutral observer. They are a force to be reckoned with, a species that has found its place among the stars, a species that will fight to defend what they believe in. The galaxy holds its breath, watching as humanity rises, determined to change the course of history. The war changes Earth in ways no one could have anticipated. Factories once dedicated to producing technology for peaceful exploration now manufacture equipment for battle. Research labs shift focus to military innovation, pushing the boundaries of technology to give humanity and the Coalition an edge. Streets that once buzzed with everyday life now carry the hum of preparation, the steady pulse of a world united by a single, urgent purpose: to survive and to protect what they hold dear. Earth is transformed from a planet of diplomats and scholars into a hub of strategy, coordination, and action. In partnership with the Coalition of Zalkai, humanity takes on vital roles across the battlefront, from intelligence gathering to tactical planning and logistics. Earth's military leaders, known for their unconventional thinking, quickly make their mark, blending human ingenuity with the Coalition's resources. Their methods are unique in the galaxy, leveraging adaptability and psychological insight to launch operations that disrupt the Dominion's rigid military structure. Intelligence officers develop strategies designed to exploit the Dominion's weaknesses, analyzing their patterns and behaviors with precision. Human soldiers, though fewer in number compared to other species in the Coalition, bring an unparalleled level of resourcefulness and creativity to the fight. They are trained to think on their feet, to adapt to any situation, and to turn adversity into opportunity. This adaptability shocks the Dominion, which is used to the strict obedience of its own forces. Humans approach every mission with a mix of guerrilla tactics and unorthodox maneuvers, challenging the Dominion in ways they've never encountered. They operate in small, agile units that strike with speed and precision, leaving the Dominion forces scrambling to respond to an enemy that refuses to fight by conventional rules. But it is not just the battlefield that feels the weight of humanity's impact. In Coalition command centers, human strategists introduce ideas that go beyond warfare, blending diplomacy and psychological operations into their approach. They aim not just to defeat the Dominion's armies but to erode their confidence and morale. Propaganda campaigns, targeted at Dominion soldiers and citizens, highlight the losses and the futility of their leaders' ambitions. Stories of human and Coalition victories are broadcast across occupied territories, spreading hope and sowing seeds of doubt within the Dominion's ranks. The Dominion's command begins to lose its iron grip, as whispers of dissent and frustration grow among their soldiers. The Coalition itself undergoes a transformation, influenced by humanity's unexpected approach. Zalkai commanders, who once viewed humans as overly idealistic, now watch in admiration as humanity brings not only strength but innovation to the fight. Coalition leaders are astonished at the efficiency and creativity humans bring to each challenge, finding themselves learning new tactics and approaches that they had never considered. Humanity's involvement rejuvenates the Coalition's resolve, giving them the hope and determination they need to keep pushing forward. The Zalkai see, for the first time, that their fight is not only winnable but that they might actually change the course of galactic history. As these victories accumulate, humanity's reputation grows. Word of their relentless tactics and their refusal to submit spreads among allies and enemies alike. The Dominion finds itself increasingly on the defensive, struggling to adapt to the unpredictability of human-led operations. Dominion commanders, baffled by the humans' ability to think several steps ahead, begin to question their strategies, frustrated by an enemy that seems able to anticipate and counter their every move. Where they expected straightforward confrontations, they encounter misdirection and surprise, tactics that leave them weakened and off balance. Ambassador Julian Carter, the man who once sought peace, becomes a symbol of Earth's resilience and courage. He travels to battlefronts and command centers, not as a diplomat but as a leader, rallying human and coalition forces with his presence. His words carry the weight of Earth's resolve, reminding everyone that they are not fighting alone. His leadership inspires those around him, reinforcing the values that humanity brought into this conflict: the drive to protect, the refusal to surrender, and the belief that peace is worth the struggle. He speaks not only to the coalition soldiers but to their leaders, strengthening alliances and forging bonds that grow deeper with each passing day. Carter's influence spreads even beyond the coalition. Dominion defectors, moved by his speeches and inspired by humanity's spirit, begin to question their own allegiance. For the first time, cracks appear within the Dominion's ranks as whispers of discontent spread among their soldiers. They see that humanity is willing to sacrifice everything for its values, and that determination plants doubt in those who once followed orders without question. Carter's presence becomes a force of change, a reminder that ideals and unity can withstand even the harshest of wars. As the weeks turn into months, the Dominion's forces find themselves stretched thin. What they once saw as a quick conquest has become a grueling fight against an enemy they cannot predict, an enemy that refuses to be cowed. Human-led missions strike deep into Dominion territory, sabotaging supply lines, disrupting communications, and dismantling their infrastructure piece by piece. Each victory, though small in isolation, accumulates into a tidal wave that the Dominion can no longer ignore. Their resources dwindle, their morale crumbles, and for the first time, they face the prospect of defeat. Humanity's entry into the war has redefined the conflict. They have turned what once seemed a losing battle into a war of possibility, showing the galaxy that even a small, determined force can make a difference when they fight for something greater than themselves. Earth's leaders understand that their role is no longer about neutrality or observation. It is about defending a vision of the galaxy where cooperation and peace can exist. The coalition begins to believe that victory is within reach, that the Dominion's reign of terror can indeed be broken. As the Dominion struggles to adapt, Earth stands as a beacon of resilience, a force that has reshaped the galaxy's understanding of strength. Humanity has brought a new kind of warfare, one fueled by creativity, resilience, and the unwavering belief that some things are worth fighting for. And as their presence grows, it becomes clear that they will not be pushed aside or ignored. They are not just participants in this war, they are its turning point. The war has reached a pivotal moment. After months of unrelenting conflict, humanity's partnership with the coalition has left the Dominion reeling, forced into a defensive stance for the first time in its history. With each passing day, the balance shifts further as humanity's tactics, intelligence, and unyielding determination push the Dominion closer to collapse. Coalition leaders and Earth's commanders know that the time has come to deliver a decisive blow, one that could end the Dominion's tyranny once and for all. In preparation, the Coalition and Earth's top strategists assemble, pooling their knowledge and resources to plan a final assault on the Dominion's central command. This will not be a simple operation, it's a mission that requires precision, coordination, and unwavering courage. At the heart of this plan stands Ambassador Julian Carter, who, from the outset, has been a pillar of resolve for both humanity and the Coalition. He takes on a new role, leading a specialized unit composed of both human soldiers and Zalkai volunteers, each of whom knows the risks but understands the stakes. Carter's team is tasked with one of the war's most dangerous missions, breaching the Dominion's inner defenses and striking at the heart of their leadership. This mission represents more than just a tactical maneuver. It's a chance to end the war and bring peace to a galaxy torn apart by the Dominion's hunger for power. As Carter prepares his team, he knows that each soldier is not just fighting for victory, but for the lives lost and the futures they are determined to protect. The final assault begins. Coalition and human forces converge on the Dominion's core strongholds, attacking with a precision that leaves the Dominion's defenses crumbling. The Dominion's commanders, once so confident in their unassailable power, find themselves overwhelmed by an enemy they can no longer predict or control. Human-led units strike from unexpected angles, targeting supply routes, communication lines, and command posts, while coalition forces press forward, relentlessly pushing back Dominion lines. It's a multi-pronged assault, designed to disorient and dismantle the Dominion's chain of command. Carter and his team advance deep into enemy territory, facing resistance that grows fiercer with every step. They navigate a maze of fortified defenses, moving with the determination of soldiers who know they are carrying the hopes of the entire coalition on their shoulders. Each encounter, each small victory, propels them closer to the Dominion's core command center, where the Supreme Commander himself is stationed. The Dominion's forces, once an unbreakable wall, are now fractured and desperate, fighting not to conquer but to survive. As Carter's team breaches the final line of defense, the Dominion's Supreme Commander comes face to face with the reality of his empire's vulnerability. What was once an ironclad rule has been shattered by a coalition of allies he had underestimated. In the moments before the final confrontation, he sees in Carter's eyes the resolve that has carried humanity through the darkest moments of this war. A force he once mocked as weak but now understands to be unbreakable. The clash that follows is swift, a culmination of all the pain, loss, and sacrifices endured on both sides. In the aftermath, Carter's team stands victorious, having broken the Dominion's final hold. The coalition forces secure the command center, signaling to the galaxy that the Dominion's reign has ended. The war is over, but its impact will be felt for generations. Through sheer determination, unity, and resilience, humanity and the coalition have transformed the galaxy's balance of power, ending a brutal chapter and ushering in a new era. As news of the victory spreads, celebrations erupt across coalition planets, each one rejoicing not only in the end of the Dominion's rule but in the unity that has brought them this peace. Earth, once a neutral observer, now stands as a hero among the stars, a force for justice and protection that has proven its strength and resolve. Humanity has forever altered its place in the galaxy, no longer seen as merely diplomats and scholars but as a species willing to defend what it believes in, to fight for a future shaped by cooperation rather than fear. For Ambassador Carter, the victory is bittersweet. He reflects on the lives lost, the battles fought, and the path that led humanity to this moment. Though peace has been won, he knows that Earth can never return to its previous role. Neutrality is no longer an option. Humanity has become a force woven into the fabric of galactic politics, a voice that cannot be ignored. Carter sees both the weight and the honor of this new position. Earth's place among the stars has been redefined, and with it comes a responsibility to uphold the values they fought so hard to defend. The galaxy, too, is forever changed. Species once divided by politics and suspicion now see one another as allies, bound together by the trials they faced and the victories they achieved. New treaties are formed, ones that emphasize cooperation, mutual respect, and the prevention of future tyrannies. Humanity's involvement has reshaped the coalition's vision, uniting diverse worlds in a shared commitment to peace. Even those who once doubted the alliance now recognize the strength in unity, understanding that together they are stronger than any one faction could ever be alone. In the end, humanity's legacy is not just the battles they fought, but the hope they inspired. The Dominion's defeat is more than a military victory, it's a testament to the power of resilience, courage, and the belief that some things are worth risking everything for. Earth's leaders look to the future with a new understanding of what it means to be part of a galactic community, knowing that they will continue to protect and advocate for the principles that carried them through the darkest days of the war. And as peace settles over the galaxy, stories of humanity's courage spread from world to world. In every corner of the galaxy, They speak of the day when a human diplomat declared that Earth would stand and fight, a moment that changed everything. For generations to come, the galaxy will remember the courage of a species that refused to back down, a species that embraced its role not as conquerors, but as protectors. The name of Earth, and the legacy of Ambassador Julian Carter, will echo in the annals of galactic history as a reminder that strength lies not only in power, but in unity, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of those who stand together.